So if you don't know, Pokemon makes no sense because of Psychic types. Psychic type Pokemon are often fast, super strong, with special attacks, and have 100% accurate moves that can not only hit, but also hit hard with a great amount of power. Most Psychic types are glass cannons, meaning they can dish the damage, but not take it. If you can beat a Pokemon like Kadabra with one good body slam, then why do they break Pokemon's logic? Well, sign in and get ready to comment down below, because we are going to discuss just that in today's video. And hey, if you're feeling like it, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Let's jump right into the video. This is the third video in the series where I take a look at types of Pokemon and explain why they break Pokemon's logic because of their existence within the game. If you missed the previous videos, last time I addressed bug types, ghost types, and dragon types. And inevitably, people suggested that I looked at the Psychic types next. How can Psychic type Pokemon break Pokemon's logic if it is balanced against them? Put simply, I want to state that this video is going to target generations 1 and 2, as way later, with the addition of other Pokemon, Psychic types do get countered and balanced pretty well, but that is later on. So for now, we're looking at the early games, and the games lack these distinct counters, so Psychic types completely destroy Pokemon's logic in the earlier gens. In Generation 1 especially, you might be surprised to know that Special Defense and Attack are one and the same. It's just called Special. This means moves like Growth and Amnesia promote both stats at the same time, Amnesia being most broken as it raises the stat several times with one move. Essentially, if you get a bulky Psychic type like Slowbro, it would be difficult to take down with a few Amnesias in. Combine that with Rest to heal up, and now it's time to sweep! I've already done a video discussing how Pokemon like Slowbro are extremely OP, but hey, that is just one Pokemon, right? The rest of the Psychic types are pretty easy to counter, right? Well, in Gen 1, there are Pokemon like Hypno, another somewhat bulky Pokemon that can take a hit. Mr. Mime, a Pokemon that gains defensive moves like Barrier and Substitute, and Jinx as well, a glass cannon and personal favorite of mine that can use powerful ice moves, and moves like Dream Eater too. Each one of those Pokemon could run Gen 1 because of their speed and strength and attacks, especially Jinx and Mr. Mime, with their 100% accurate Psychic attack that is 90 base power with a type boost and no resistance whatsoever. None. Zero zilch. This is Gen 1. Nothing. Let's just say that there was a Pokemon that could resist a Psychic type itself, or was even immune fully. That doesn't stop the other attacks. Hypno is not the worst physical attacker, and it learns Headbutt. Jinx can use ice moves like Ice Beam and Blizzard, and Slowbro can use the same moves, but also with Surf, a 90 base power attack that gets a type bonus again, because Slowbro is a water type, and it's 100% accurate as well. So even if those Psychic moves were to fail, almost every one of those Psychic types could then use another attack to get by that problem. But Gen 1 actually has so many Poison types, so it's even worse. These Poison types are weak to Psychic attacks. Pokemon like Weezing, Muk, Golbat, Arbok. Main Pokemon that are seen many times because of Team Rocket. But even an Elite Four member has Poison types. In fact, all of Agatha's Pokemon are Poison types. Every single one of them. So if you have a Psychic type, get the broom out and get ready to do some sweeping because you're about to become the janitor up in here. But you know what the most ridiculous part about this is? I haven't even mentioned the most powerful Pokemon yet. Alakazam, Mewtwo, and Mew. Abra evolves into Kadabra as early as level 16. That's pretty crazy to have such an OP Pokemon before the second gym. The most infamous Gen 1 Pokemon that can end your game, owned by both Sabrina and Blue. Alakazam is extremely powerful and very scary to go against. He's destroyed many Nuzlocke players and just runs in general. And you can get it by level 16. I mean, I really can't emphasize that. Oh, but Psychic types don't break Pokemon's logic, right? Mewtwo might be one of the last Pokemon to be attained, and Mew is kind of a glitch, so maybe a secret Pokemon to obtain, but you cannot excuse Alakazam. Alakazam's just there. He can be obtained very, very early and can destroy the game entirely. Let's just say this is an early run of the game yourself, and you had no knowledge of how to evolve Kadabra. Kadabra itself is still very powerful and still capable of being a great sweeper, so that doesn't necessarily mean, just because you can't acquire Alakazam, that you wouldn't be able to just run the game with a really powerful Kadabra. The only Pokemon that can counter Psychic types in Gen 1 are either Psychic types themselves, like Slowbro, or Pokemon that have massively high specials and HP, Vaporeon and Snorlax, or very, very quick Pokemon like Dugtrio or Electrode. Generation 2 added balance in the form of special attack and special defense, meaning Pokemon like Kadabra now have great stats in regards to speed and special attack, but not so great on taking hits, not so great on special defense or defense. Most notable changes consist of Hypno gaining a massive special defense, becoming a bit more mediocre, shall we put it, but still a viable Psychic type to use all the same. But that still doesn't stop that Pokemon from being a monster whom can learn other moves to make him a machine, capable of taking down just about any Pokemon. Moves like Ice Punch, Psychic, Headbutt, Hypnosis, and Dream Eater, these moves are pretty hard to counter, pretty hard to take on the chin and be A-okay, especially from really strong Psychic type Pokemon. Another addition to Psychic types consists of Unknown, a complete and total throwaway Pokemon with the move Hidden Power. This Pokemon was added mainly to bring the game's story together, rather than being more of a viable Pokemon to battle with. Other Psychic types added were Wobbuffet, Natu and Xatu, Espeon, and Slowking. These Pokemon are fairly useful. Wobbuffet is capable of countering any Pokemon, and move type both physical and special based, and taking the Pokemon with it, the move known as Destiny Bond. Natu and Xatu are flying Psychic types that are mundane and average, but based around the move Future Sight, a move which causes damage later on in the battle, and again, it's a pretty mundane move in my own personal opinion. It's not that great of a moveset to put on any Psychic type, but still Psychic type all the same, and they're in addition to Generation 2. Slowking is a more aggressive Psychic type like Slowbro, but less bulky and more offensive. Finally, Espeon is an Eevee variation, which is one of the best Psychic types to own even in the current generation. Though it doesn't surpass Pokemon like Alakazam, which is still a fan favorite, but people really love Espeon all the same, due to the evolutions. And the only thing that stops these Pokemon are like Dark, Steel, and Bug types. Well, you already know how I feel about Bug types, which you better watch out for that Fury Cutter, or maybe on the 4th or 5th hit, you can actually knock out that Psychic type, or Twin Needle at an astonishing base power of 25. So, yeah, you're really going to take them down, aren't you, with one hit. Or there's Mega Horn, that's really strong. A bug move capable of one-hit KOing Psychic type Pokemon easily. Just one problem, the Pokemon that can get those moves are all pretty weak to Psychic types. So Alakazam can knock out a Beedrill with one Psychic tap before it can even use Twin Needle, or a Heracross before it can even use Mega Horn. And other types like Jinx, Slowbro, and Hypno, they can use moves like Ice Beam, Fire Punch. It'll knock out those bug Pokemon pretty easily. So those moves that are meant to counter Psychic types, they don't really do that good. Finally, the Dark types have come to save the day, right? Completely immune to Psychic attacks. These things are gonna save us from the Psychic type menace. Well, no. Not at all, again. While Dark types resist Psychic types in the fact that you just can't even do anything to them with Psychic attacks, the Pokemon you counter in Generation 2 that are Dark are extremely minimal, and they're usually later in the game. Murkrow, Sneasel, Houndour, Houndoom, Tyranitar. All of these Pokemon rarely appear in Generation 2, and not until later in the game, where you can acquire a Pokemon like Drowsy before the 3rd Gym Leader. So where's that dark type counter or early on? Wait, where is it? Because it's not there. And speaking of gym leaders, Morty, the 4th gym leader, should be able to destroy your psychic types with a new move and a new Pokemon, right? I mean, this is Generation 2, Misdreavus, the only pure ghost Pokemon on Generation 2. And this Pokemon isn't weak to psychic moves. Finally! Except Morty doesn't have Misdreavus. Why? Why doesn't the Ghost Master have the pure ghost type? Why? He has good old Haunter and Gengar, poison and ghost types. Shadow Ball could kill a psychic type if those ghost Pokemon weren't obliterated from being weak to psychic attacks because of their poison typing. The only challenge you get from using psychic types in Generation 2 is the Elite Four member Karen, whom has several dark types. But even then, just bring one fighting type. A decent fighting type will destroy all of those dark types pretty easily. And the steel types, they would be great if steel types really were a challenge to the player. But you know what steel types were introduced in Generation 2? Magnemite, Magneton, Steelix, Skarmory, and Scizor. You will encounter Magnemite a few times, Magneton as well a few times, and a Steelix as a gym leader's Pokemon. But Skarmory and Scizor are so rare that you might not even encounter them at all, and if you do, it might be once or twice again. So even Magnemite and Magneton and Steelix aren't that hard. They're easily defeated by ground moves especially, and Steelix is extremely weak to water attacks, like Surf. I mean, one Surf will pretty much destroy Steelix, if not 2 Surfs and he's done. So while a Psychic type might have trouble with them, again, a Slowbro would destroy Steelix. A Hypno with Fire Punch could destroy Magneton, and Scizor, especially Scizor being Steel Bug type, and almost any of them, to be perfectly honest. I mean, even if you don't have a dual weakness, you still have the single weakness from fire attacks, and then ground attacks, and then the water attack for Steelix. So yeah, Steel type's not really a threat in Generation 2 to Psychic types. Along with those dark types as well, many of them can be outsped, hit hard, and knocked out before any of them can do some decent damage to the Pokemon attacking them. In Jinx's case, Ice Beam counters Murkrow, Slowbro's Surf counters Houndoom, and Hypno's Fire Punch counters Sneasel. And then in later gens, Psychic Pokemon can learn the moves Brick Break, utterly destroying Tyranitar. So why do Psychic types break Pokemon's logic? Because Psychic types are pretty much unstoppable. Because the right movesets are not that hard to get in Generation 1 and 2. We're going on Generation 8, man. 800 plus Pokemon, and all you need is one good, versatile Psychic type to beat almost all of them. And to be fair, Psychic types were balanced out pretty well in the later generations, with Pokemon gaining a lot of dark moves, Bite, Feint Attack, and Pursuit. And though these moves were not one-hit killers, they do add to the versatility of Pokemon when battling Psychic types. And I didn't even mention Celebi either, which is a Grass Psychic Legendary that was introduced in Generation 2. Just another Psychic type that's very good and very versatile for battling. Again, this is pretty limited to the main storylines of the games, because when you get on Wi-Fi and you try to battle Pokemon, a lot of things can be countered. You know, if a Pokemon has Bite and you bite a Psychic type, it's going to be a rough time for that Psychic type to survive that. But if you have a bulky enough of a Psychic type, you can survive those situations as well. And Psychic types are very viable online and competitive, even today. So, Psychic types completely destroy Generation 1 and 2 for the reasons I have listed. And there you go. That's how Psychic types break Pokemon's logic. Because Pokemon is supposed to be a game where you can pick up almost any Pokemon, add it to your team, and with a party of 6, you should be able to take down almost anyone within the story. And even playing online, you're just able to do that. That's the beauty of Pokemon. And Psychic types completely remove that, because with one good Psychic type and one good moveset, you can pretty much destroy anyone. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I did an extensive look at Psychic types. This isn't like how good Psychic types were or anything like that. This is just a breakdown of why Psychic types break the logic.